Hey, everybody, welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal health and wellness coach Jason Stevenson. Hey, Jason,
What's going on, sir?
how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great as well. I need to put you in my headphones because I was doing too many things at the same time. Okay. Um,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, and you sound just wonderful. Um, so yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. This isn't the first show that we're doing that you and I have ever done, but this is the first show that we're doing right now for this audience and people that will watch it, in perpetuity. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what the point of the show is?
Sure. Myself, I'm a personal trainer. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I help people. My job is to help people get further from where they are to where they want to be. And that entails all kinds of options and opportunities to learn on both sides of the puzzle here, because everybody is a subjective process. And I love what I do because I get to treat each person as an individual every single time I train them as part of their process of where they're trying to go. So it's literally one step every day in a journey for them. And it's a fantastic opportunity to do that. I love it. And I'm very lucky to work with amazing people like yourself and a lot of other people that I've met and dealt with over the years. But it keeps me getting up in the morning. It gets me excited to do so. And I get to continue to help people on a regular basis. This show is a little snapshot of that.
Snapshot, not a Snapchat. I don't know what that is.
Snapshot. Apologize. I've been up all morning training, so sometimes the words don't come the way they're supposed to. But it's basically this is a brief shot of what I do, because a lot of what I do is coaching, and that's getting people's head in the right place. Because I've found over the years that getting your head in the right place helps your body go there, helps your habits go there. Because no matter what anybody does with me, whether it's once, twice, or three times a week, I'm really not with them that much. So my job is to get in their head a little bit, and hopefully they hear my voice throughout the week, when they're making choices with their food, when they're making choices with their fitness, and as it applies to real life, because frankly, this is not just what you do in the gym or what you do for your fitness, wherever that is.
Yeah,
So that's why we
absolutely.
decided to do this, because frankly, there's an opportunity here to share those messages and hopefully give a little bit of help to somebody out there that needs it,
Absolutely.
or reinforcement. Sometimes
Yeah,
you need to hear the same message a couple of times for you to go, oh yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So you have a for people that don't know, they can follow you at Thrive Training on Facebook and Thrive Training Team, I believe, on Instagram.
Yep.
And you post out workouts of the day. You post workouts
Yes.
of the day every morning for anyone. They don't have to be your client. And tips of the week every Monday, and food tips of the week are going to be starting every Friday.
Yeah.
Um, so that's all really cool, really important stuff that you're putting out there. And that's the goal of this and the show, and of this show and those tips, is to give everybody little helpful things every week. So what is the thing that we're talking about today?
Today, one of the phrases that every single one of my clients hears me repeat, and it's repeatable, maintainable. Because for me, we talk about short term, long term goals. For me, short term is 1 year and long term is a lifetime. So, what we're really talking about is your health and wellness choices that are repeatable habits. Because anybody can crash diet for a short period of time. Anybody can go out and run a couple of miles each week or walk a couple of miles, do something for a short period of time. But what really applies and what will help you in the long term is habits that you can keep, things that are repeatable. So it's always my question when somebody comes to me and says, what do you think of this supplement? Or what do you think of this fitness habit? My question is always back to them, can you repeat that? Is that maintainable? Like the new fad diets out there where they're restrictive. I'm going to go on a diet where I don't eat any fat, or I don't eat any meat, or I don't eat any carbs. That's great. It's a great opportunity for you to evaluate your nutritional intake. But can you maintain that? Is that something you're going to continue to do for the rest of your life? And that's what really matters.
Yeah. Um, and you and I had a big conversation about that a year ago,
Yeah.
and actually more than a year ago, because I had sometimes, and I think that this is a point that you definitely would want to get out there, is sometimes when you try something, like sometimes you don't know if it's going to be repeatable
Yeah.
or maintainable, so you have to try it, but uh, but it's so you're not always going to know what is measured and until you measure it, until you go out and try it. And so I made the choice to go plant-based
Hmm.
but originally, so this is like over a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago even, to try it for a while, you
Yeah.
know and and at the time it didn't seem like I could, like it was good and I liked it a lot. I mean, I loved it, but I didn't think that it was maintainable necessarily, you know.
Yeah.
And then almost exactly a year ago, right now, I was like, no, I think it's maintainable. I think it's
Yeah.
maintainable, and I think I could do it. And I um completely did. And it
Yeah.
was and it was easy, and it was repeatable and maintainable, and I never would have known that had I not dipped my toe in, or done the research, or thought about it, or done all of that stuff. And it was incredibly repeatable and maintainable, and it was something that I really enjoyed, and all of that. Um, Now the unfortunate thing for me, and I'm thinking about it a lot right now, because July of last year is where I started,
Yeah.
and I didn't think about it at all. It was never an issue. Uh, doing the whole plant-based thing was wonderful for me. I felt better. Had more energy. Everything was better. When COVID started, uh, it no longer became maintainable,
Yeah.
because of the circumstances of house dynamics, and what I was going to
Lock.
physically go do, you know what I mean,
Right.
in lockdown.
Lockdown.
So it no longer became maintainable. But the day that and I don't, everything's personal, so you take your own personal precautions. But it was something that I learned over 9 to 10 months, that was repeatable, maintainable, and I once it becomes maintainable again, I can't wait to go back to it. So, what are some other things that we can do to sort of try our hand at things to see if they're maintainable?
Well, you touched on a bunch of them that right there, actually. The first piece is to try it.
Oh, Jason,
Um,
Jason just said, Jason
hey,
Almeida just said, I'm doing a plant-based diet and love it. Changed everything for my depression, sleep, and energy. Dude, I hear you. I
right?
hear
Hi,
you. I
Jay.
was there
Love it, man.
completely. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, that's the point, right? Like, so there is no perfect solution. There is no magic pill. You have to try it. But in order for you to evaluate, and this is something we talk about all the time, and it's something that's come up recently because we need to assess. You need to figure out what's working and what's not. So try something, but commit to yourself that you're going to do it for more than just 30 days, or you're going to commit to it for like at least 90 days. Then this is something that I can do for a period of time. And understand that when I say repeatable, maintainable, it's not a hard line. It doesn't mean that that has to be your life choice for food for the rest of your life. It just means, is that a health habit that you can keep doing? Can you periodically go into vegan? Can you stay with it for a year and then come off of it? Yeah, that's great. But what we want to get away from is expecting quick fixes to solve our problems. We want consistency. And that's what we're talking about here. Can you consistently think differently about your protein sources and your food choices so that what you're getting is a healthier, fundamentally healthier base for your food, right? That's what you were looking for, was to feel better when you ate. And it took that experimentation of that first introduction into it for you to say, hey, you know what? I can do this. There are ways that I can fill in the gaps where I didn't think I could. Because we're in a world now where you can pretty much do anything you want to. You just have to have the wherewithal and the willpower to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, that's a great point because that's really what it is. It's a buzzword that we've learned for years is diet, but it's your plan. It's what you eat. It's not a diet. It's what you eat. And it's sustainable from like a philosophical side, but is it sustainable for you is what really matters. And I try to suggest, like you said, Ben, to subjectively figure that out because what works for me may not work for you, or it might, but it has to be what is repeatable, maintainable in your lifestyle, in your lifetime. Like you said, Ben, right now, we've all had to make recent adjustments to our lifestyles. There's certainly things that have changed for everybody, even in the smallest ways. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's normal. You have to assess. So you decided, I really like the vegan. I really like eating the plant based. I really like doing that. I love the way I felt. Then that's something that you're going to be able to go back to because you've already experimented with it and you figured out it does work for you.
Yeah, completely. And I think so moving on to more of the physical aspect of it, I know that that you a lot of times are saying like don't burn yourself out. Don't don't jump in and go, the first day you're like, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week and I'm going to work out for an hour and a half in the morning. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to go back to the gym and I'm going to do cardio at night, all night for like another hour and a half. And I'm going to work out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm good. I have my gym bag is ready to go. I'm souped. This is it. This is my year. And by, the fifth day, you're like, maybe not. Maybe not today. Maybe
Not.
not today. And then 3 weeks later you never go to the gym again, you know?
Yeah. Well, there are some people, and this is always personality type, and that's why I ask when I talk to people about this. But there are some people that can flip the switch. I'm just going to, now I go to the gym every day. But the truth is, most people need to create habits that they can keep. They need to adjust their lifestyle in small course corrections. And we try to teach that by saying, is this repeatable, maintainable? Because if you cannot keep that habit and that's not going to work with your current lifestyle, well then yeah, that fifth day or that third day or whatever day that you hit the wall, it's not. It's definitely not. You
Yeah.
want to find balance. I mean, that's truly what we're trying to achieve. It's calories in, calories out. It's literally balance between your quality of life and what you're looking to get out of that quality of life.
What are some things that you've implemented in your life that have been repeatable, maintainable, that you do not every day, but consistently?
Consistently, I move. That's a definite. Especially as I get older, I know that I have to move. Whether it's my range of motion, it's my yoga, it's stretching, it's rolling. I literally get antsy and don't sleep well if I don't move every day. Now, sometimes it's much higher intensity, it's much heavier weights, or it's longer duration, or sometimes it's just some range of motion, stretching, and rolling. But it's literally move every day. And the other one, because it's calories in, calories out, it's conscious calorie consumption. Now, there's certainly days where my fiance, like we went to Dairy Queen on Saturday night. I'm definitely a carpe diem guy as far as enjoying life, but we fasted through breakfast. I had some black coffee like mid morning. We had a really great lunch and I ate healthy most of the day, so for me, that was the balance. And I'm always thinking of that, like today I've been fasting actually most of the day so far. Um, so my lunch is going to be a big lunch. I know that. And then I'll think about my dinner when I'm making my lunch. So for me, movement and then conscious caloric intake is a definite. On top of that, the last one is always this guy. You drink lots of water. It's a given. Um, and yeah, those are the givens. Now I roll some stuff. There's always meditation through the day, and there's always time with my fiance and time with friends and time outside. Get your bare feet in the grass, little things like that. But when people ask me about my daily habits, I actually think about my habits as a week. because oftentimes you can't fit everything into a day, but your life is a product of the whole. So it's the same as a year and a month and then a week and then a day. So I think about my habits throughout the week more so for
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just can't fit it all in one day.
No,
That's
no, you can't.
okay. But that's okay. And for me, that's what I've found is repeatable, maintainable. So I can get some high intensity workouts in. I can get some low key workouts in. I can get some really high calorie meals in, and I can get some low calorie meals in. You got to find the balance.
You really do, man. And I mean, for example, you just reminded me. Well, first of all, you just reminded me with the water bottle thing that I mean, you know how terrible I am at doing that, and being conscious of it. But this morning I got up early and I went for a walk, and I changed up the walk
Nice.
today. I changed up the walk today. I mean, you know exactly the path I'm talking about.
Yep.
But instead of, I was on a little bit of a time crunch because I needed to come home and shower and get ready to do a bunch of these things. And so I changed up the walk, and I walked over to the school instead, and I walked around over there for a little while.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. I went to see like a a brick that has a important name on it to me that was laid, and
Yeah.
it was a really important day for that. So I went and did that, and then I came home and I filled up my giant water bottle, and I was like, "This is great." And then I put it on the dining room table and went and took a shower, and then came in here, and I've been sitting here for 4 hours now,
Plugged
and
in.
I just realized that my water bottle is still out there, and I haven't drank any of it. So as soon as we're done with this, I need to go grab that because I'm going to be sitting here for
Yes.
another 3 hours. Um, and but yeah, the how do you create something to be repeatable, maintainable when it's something that you need, but you have an issue like that where you constantly forget about it, or you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
if you want a hardcore workout schedule to become repeatable, maintainable, how do you do that? Is it small manageable steps that grow?
Two sides. Again, same thing with personalities. My suggestion is to evaluate what kind of a person you are. If you're one of those kind of people that does the list thing and crosses it off and feel good about it, then you're probably a little type A. And your best bet is to specifically schedule those things that are that important to you. Remember, we're talking about your health and your quality of life, which should measure in around the top of your priority list. So schedule it. Um, a good friend of mine and one of my life coaches actually has me scheduling my meditation because my life, I'm based on my schedule like you are, and my clients and people dictate my life. But for me to prioritize meditation means I have to put it on the schedule. So my first suggestion is to schedule things like that. So if you're worried about your water, set a little timer on your phone every hour. Have your timer go off and label it H2O or hydrate or water or whatever helps you remember, and just remind yourself. Or, like we just talked about, start small. Just start by adding a little bit of water at breakfast or just a little bit of water when you brush your teeth, because those small course corrections add up and they will become repeatable and maintainable when you start with small steps. So it depends on what works best for your personality.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Ben.
And you know, I enjoy this, obviously, and the Zoom workouts have been awesome and a lot of fun,
Thanks, Ben.
and creative. And I think that there's so many. So that's something that we had talked about before the pandemic.
Yeah.
We talked about, you know, virtual workouts and finding ways to get things done beforehand. Yeah, for everybody, you know what I mean? Like, not just a personal
Yeah.
thing between the two of us
Yeah.
at all. Actually, we never did that. But the finding ways to get things done for everybody, and finding ways to make things repeatable and maintainable for yourself. So, if anybody is looking for that, how can they get a hold of you?
The easiest way is to jump on my website, thrivetrainingteam.com, and it pops up. That's such a beautiful thing, Ben. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So that's the easiest way because there's contact on there. I offer free consultations for anybody that's looking to make a change in their health and fitness and has any questions that we can do in person or live via Zoom. And that's the best way to just start. And then we evaluate. If people need some coaching and some one-on-one work, we're fortunate that we've learned to adapt in this recent issue. And the Zoom has become a great tool for that. And a lot of people have taken advantage of that. So we can do that at home. It's awesome.
The Zoom. You're so old.
Sorry,
Uh,
Zoom. So using my fancy phone camera, I can do the Zoom. No, but the truth is, there's options for everybody. I write programs for people that they can do on their own, or I do workouts with people one-on-one, or we do something on Zoom, or whatever works best. We're fortunate now with the technology capacities to be creative. My job's to help. So let me help you. Tell me what you need.
Beautiful, man.
Love it.
Yes. So thank you very much, Jason. Should I call you Jason on the show? Jay.
Call me whatever you want, just as long as you don't call me late for lunch, my man.
Speaking of, I feel like I always am. So all right, dude. Thank you so much. And yeah, this was awesome. So
Thanks,
I'll let
man.
you have the final word.
Go drink your water, buddy. And that's repeatable, maintainable today, guys. Go out there and live your life. Thrive, not survive.